Okay, so let's begin. This now is this summary. Don't know if summary or analysis, whatever you want to call it. Summary of the two testimonies given by Jerome on Wednesday and on Thursday. This is the Fed's website. They have a calendar of these things. Wednesday, June 21st. Testimony by Chair Jerome H. Powell. Semi-annual monetary policy report to Congress. This was before the U.S. House Financial Services Committee. And then on Thursday, again, testimony by Chair Jerome Powell, semi-annual monetary policy before the U.S. Senate Committee on Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs. So there was two testimonies. Okay, it's one testimony before two different committees. So yeah, on Wednesday and on Thursday, same time. So 10 a.m. Eastern time. Also here, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Let's get to the summary. Of course, we're going to start with the summary of what happened on Wednesday. On Wednesday, let's look at this one. Dollar dips as Powell testimony disappoints the Hawks. Okay, so guys were expecting Jerome to be hawkish. Oh, personally, I was expecting him to be dovish, but let's see what happened. The US dollar fell against a basket of currencies. Powell told lawmakers that the fight against inflation still has a long way to go and that despite a recent pause in interest rate hikes, officials agreed borrowing costs would likely need to move higher. That's a hawkish statement. While noting that inflation remains very far from the Fed's target, Powell said it may make sense to still raise rates at a more moderate pace. Okay, now this is where it stopped. It stopped being hawkish. Like now it's he's being dovish, saying that yeah, rates might still need to rise, but at a more moderate pace. At a more moderate pace, you remember they paused very recently. Then looks as if Fed Powell failed to out-hawk markets that were braced for a more explicit ratification of the median projection in the latest dot plot summary of economic projections. So Carl Shikamoto, Chief Market Strategist. So yeah, this is exactly what happened. People were expecting him to be hawkish, but he failed to be as hawkish as guys were expecting by sticking to balanced data dependent language deployed in last week's press conference. He left investors betting that the ongoing deceleration in growth and inflation will translate into one, not two, rate hikes by year end, Shikamoto said. So this is what it's looking like. According to the summary of the state of the economy, how things are faring on right now, the market at this time the market was expecting, yeah, it might only translate to one, not two rate hikes because inflation, the CPI in particular, has fell by over half in 10 11 consecutive months. Yes, has fell drastically, considering that it is a leading indicator of other inflation measures. It's likely that inflation in the PCE, the core PCE, even the core CPI, they will also cool by year end. Cool at a moderate pace that might not need the Fed to raise rates twice. Just once might be enough. That's the message the markets received on this day. There was something else. Also, stocks fell. Okay, this is June 21st. US dollar lower, Treasury use unchanged. Wednesday, underscores interview. US Central Bank will hike rates further. Some investors saw comments as less hawkish than they expected. Yeah, it's the same thing. So let's look at the dollar index on that day. This is Wednesday. I don't like this. This is Wednesday. Yeah, the testimony was at 10 a.m. Eastern time, which is which is 1400 hours GMT. So yeah, you can see this is 11, 12, 13, 14. Let me put a vertical line to mark that one. Opacity is good. Yeah, so this you can see Wednesday 21st June 2023, 1400 hours UTC GMT. This is where the testimony began, and yeah, looking at this higher time frame, it was like a retest, then price fell. The dollar index price fell, and the sell-off began like to be extreme at this time of Jerome's testimony. Yeah, he was less hawkish than the market expected, and then boom, that means the markets started to think rate hikes might not be true. Maybe they'll only raise rates once. Yeah. So on Wednesday the dollar index fell, and even closed lower. Yeah. So that was it for Wednesday. There wasn't much of volatility. You can see here it was boom, just like that once. Then okay, should I look at stocks? I don't want to. I don't want to look at stocks. Wait. Okay, let's just go to the following day. So that was Wednesday, hearing before the U.S. House Financial Services Committee. Going to Thursday, testimony, Chair Jerome Powell before the U.S. Senate Committee on Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs. Yeah, there was also some talk about banking on Wednesday, but yeah, it didn't stick. Continuing on to Thursday, I mean, June 22nd. Okay, this is the transcript. It's June 22nd. This is June 14th. This is a quote tweet from June 14th, where the Fed was the most recent FOMC meeting. So Powell today, so on Thursday. A strong majority of the FOMC feels that it will be appropriate to increase rates, again, assuming the economy performs as expected. We've come very far, and the reason why we maintained our rate at the last meeting was to give ourselves more time to stretch out the time for making these decisions. Well, in my Discord, yeah, when I was analyzing this, let me finish up. Our key quote from Powell: "Not a single person on the committee wrote down a rate cut this year, nor do I think it is at all likely to be appropriate. Inflation has not really moved down. It has not reacted much to our existing rate hikes. We're going to have to keep at it." So this was on Wednesday. No, this was Wednesday, June 14th, and then this one on Thursday this week, June 22nd. So there's a bit of shift in the tone, meaning now they're saying we've come very far, and the reason why we maintained our rate at the last meeting was to give ourselves more time to stretch out the time for making these decisions. Okay, so yeah, back to what I was saying. When I was doing the post FOMC meeting analysis, yeah, we remember Jerome did say it's not a skip, it's a pause. That was a dovish statement, meaning for now, the Fed was not at all considering raising rates. They just decided to pause. It was not a skip. They didn't postpone the rate hike. They just decided to pause. Now, that means um, even in the next meeting, there's a chance that they may pause again or maybe deliver a small hike back to here. A strong majority, yeah, and then there was this one. Again, another one. The committee broadly feels that while monetary policy has gotten to an appropriately restricted level, if the economy performs about as expected, that it will be appropriate to raise high rates again this year and perhaps twice. Yeah, this is where now this is a very hawkish statement, meaning that saying that, yeah, inflation has cooled, but we might need to raise rates twice again this year. So yeah, perhaps a strong majority of the committee feels that it will be appropriate. Blah blah blah. We move very quickly at the beginning of this. We move very quickly at the beginning, and we gradually slow down. This is just a continuation of that, but we are committed to getting inflation under control, and the strong majority of the committee feels we are close, but there is still a little further to go with rate hikes. Boom. That one, very hawkish. The hawkishness the market was expecting on Wednesday, you can see it now came on Thursday. Yep, that was pretty much it, and then we slowed down from 75 to 50 per meeting to 25 at every meeting, and now as we get closer to and closer to what we believe will be our destination, we will slow down a little further. So we're trying to avoid the mistake of going too far. So the Fed currently is now trying to avoid over tightening. Remember, they're in restrictive territory with these rate hikes, but they're still considering to raise rates twice again, like to deliver another 50 basis points hike divided into two 25 basis points hike. Yeah, so yeah, that was it for Thursday, and then let's go back here. Global equity funds, the dollar yields rise after Powell comments back on liquidation rate. This was on Thursday. The US dollar and Treasury yields climbed on Thursday as Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell suggested more US interest rate hikes may be needed to curb inflation. In the Bank of England, the BOE delivered a bigger than expected rate hike. Yeah, you remember we talked about that one. So Powell, in his second day of testimony to lawmakers, suggested again the US central bank has not reached the end of its tightening cycle. So, in addition, Fed Governor Michelle Bowman, at the end, at an event in Cleveland, said additional policy rate increases will be needed to control inflation. So you can see there's a lot of hawkish sentiment on Thursday. Yeah, which you can see here translated into that on the markets. This was the dollar index, Asian Open, and then here we get the US Open, and then price started picking up. Yeah, so on Thursday again, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 1400 hours GMT. Looking at the charts again here on the dollar index, 1400 hours is where the dollar really picked, like the biggest gain of the dollar for this day. It was during that hour of Jerome's Jerome's speech. Yeah, Jerome's testimony. Oh my God. Yeah. So the dollar was already pumping, and then when he began talking, the dollar continued pumping, and then on Friday, the hawkish sentiment from Thursday was carried forward into Friday, and yeah, the dollar still continued rising until here. I think we got some releases. I'm not so sure, but let me not get too much into the technicals. That was mine for this video, was just to highlight Jerome's words and its effect on the market. Okay, let's now let me look at Euro USD quickly. So yeah, this was the Euro. This was Friday. This was Thursday, Wednesday. So you can see on Wednesday when Jerome turned dovish, of course, the USD pairs, the majors GU, EU, they picked up. Yeah, I think the move was biggest on this pair, the euro dollar pumped up, and then the following day, Jerome started being hawkish. The yesterday's moves were almost cleared, and then on Friday, all all of the week's gains, all of Wednesday's gains, they were just wiped out within the Asian session. Yeah, they were all cleared, and then a slight retracement. I think the downtrend will continue, but that was it. That was it. I won't talk any further about this meeting. That was it. That was the summary. See, Jerome got hawkish, but I think he was just preparing the markets for what's to come. He usually does this. He doesn't say what he wants to say. He says something that will move the markets to the direction the Fed wants it to go. If he starts talking about rate cuts now, that means the market will start pricing in rate cuts even before they happen, and that's going to disrupt the tightening cycle. So it makes a lot of sense that Jerome still has to be hawkish right now, especially that now that they're seeing some evidence of inflation falling, and the labor market is still very tight. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense for him to maintain a hawkish tone so that the markets don't get too excited and they start having a premature, like rejoicing prematurely. That's what the Fed, Jerome, here doesn't want. That's why you can see this hawkish tone. It only makes sense to be hawkish at this time because yeah, because of that. Okay, I'll stop there for today.